Good morning. Welcome to Love Mornings. This is Hug Nation. This is a daily practice of gratitude and intention setting and deciding that why not be the version of ourselves that is trying to make the world a little bit better. Just be the reason that somebody believes that people are good. You ever fall into that place of like, man, people suck. And then you go, wait, not all people? How do I know? Because I've had good experiences with human beings. I know good human beings. So not all people suck. So be the reason that somebody knows that. Yes, there are good people out there. People who will sing a song impromptu every morning. Well, welcome to the Love Morning Show today. And if you've got gratitude, that's what you should say. I don't mean that you pretend it's all great, because sometimes you make a big mistake, and it's a thing that we still have to be grateful for. If you're just joining me through the door, come and share what you're grateful for, because we could keep doing this more, but that would get boring. Welcome to Love Morning. Da, 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 da. That's pretty fun. That's a pretty good one. Good morning. Welcome to Hug Nation. Welcome to Love Morning. I am John Halcyon Stin. What are you grateful for? Good morning, Gerbot. Good morning, Gracie. Good morning, Nika. Gerbot says, oh yeah, that was a banger today. I should make a highlight clip. The Love Morning Bangers. Thank you for noticing. I did redo my hair today. It is so bright that I felt responsible I felt the responsible thing to do was to wear a hat yesterday when I was in public, because I felt it was like uncomfortably bright. Like I think I would have caused car accidents if I walked the streets. But I am feeling grateful that my scalp was in such a good condition that I had no issues doing a little bleach, double bleached a little bit in the back because it didn't quite get as light as I wanted. I'm feeling very grateful for a healthy scalp and a bright head of hair. This is like a safety feature. I can avoid traffic jam, or not traffic jam, but traffic accidents. People like a traffic cone on my head. Gary says, your hair looks like it tastes like Starburst. I tell you that like a year ago, I got challenged to start a hair dye company by a billionaire. But we're using that on the packaging. It's going to be make your hair taste like candy. Ooh, Nika says, you get me hyped because I'm going pink later this month. Yeah, good to hear that. Good morning, Kiri. Good morning, Painey. And good morning, Sarah. And Annalise, good morning, good morning. I am so feeling full of gratitude right now. Lisa is still away at a retreat, so I am solo, but I had such a rich day yesterday. I got to hang out with my brother for a long beach walk, and really that was beautiful. But really the thing that I'm just so like charged up by is I went to dinner last night with Eric, who's my best friend from college. If you read my story or listened to me here talk recently about going to the tea house in Turkey, I traveled through Europe for 4 months, 2 months in Turkey. That trip was with Eric. I mean, if you hear me talk about the mountaintop spiritual experience that changed my life during that trip, that was with Eric. So many of my formative choices. First time I ever did psychedelics. Although he didn't do them because I wouldn't incriminate anyone else. But first time I did psychedelics, we were best friends. Um, and yeah, so he is now I think I can. He's a president of a small liberal arts school where we went to small liberal arts school, and he's brilliant and kind, and it was so fun to catch up and just be laughing at each other, he would. There's so many stories that I don't remember very well that he reminded me, like adventures we had in Turkey and things that happened in college, and yeah, it was so awesome. It was just really, really special. Um, yeah, and he's not someone that I'm in touch with frequently, and so to to sit down and just feel like that connection that's always been there, and he's always going to be somebody that is a huge part of who I am, no matter what. And even though our lives are so different now, there's just so much that we overlap. In fact, as he would describe his challenges and his mission in providing a liberal arts education to people, and in trying to help transform people's lives, and in creating a safe container for exploration. I'm like, the way you're talking about this is the way that I talk about Burning Man, and like the need to have a safe space for exploration of thought, and and I've talked about, and it was awesome. It was so awesome. So feeling very grateful for my friendship with Eric, and the recharge of an old friendship. Good morning, Juan. And good morning, Natasha. Natasha says, I am very grateful for a nice weekend to do yard work, and also that my partner and I brought a house together in Albuquerque. Is that what that is? Woohoo! Congratulations. Wow. That's exciting. Gracie is grateful for a super weekend. Uh, Volunteering and watching Coachella. I totally forgot. I'm like, I saw all these people posting. I'm like, it's Coachella time of year. I went to Coachella back in the day before it was quite so popular, before there was social media, but it's been a while. It says, great times now, a new day and a week. Grateful for the next adventure. Awesome, Gracie. Kiri says, I am grateful for safe spaces and the love and vulnerability that can grow in them. Here, here. Nick asks, are you and Lisa going to Burning Man this year? Unknown. I've not made any plans to go right now. I have not secured a ticket or a camp, and I'm open to possibility, but at this stage, I have not committed to going. So I'd say a less than 40% chance, less than 30% chance that I will go this year. Natasha, massive flex, saying, I did video and lighting for a band at Coachella back in the day. Ooh, I thought I was flexing saying that I went to Coachella back in the day. Whoop, whoop. That's amazing. Super cool. I was thinking about that recently, Natasha, like you playing me a recording of you playing piano, and just like all these talents that you have. I'm also grateful. I can announce it now. I sold my Twitter handle. I know I kind of was talking around it because I wanted to make sure that the money was deposited, but I got approached by a company that is called Halcyon something something, and it seemed like a cool company with cool people. They're trying to do like carbon offsetting with solar stuff, and it seemed like cool stuff. And I don't use Twitter at all anymore. Like, I dislike it. If I post there, nobody seems to notice, and so I'm like, this isn't it's worth nothing to me. I didn't say that because I negotiated, and I actually negotiated, I think, pretty well. And so I was in the process of buying a car and suddenly got a chance to get a nicer car because they made me an offer. I counter offered, and then we met in the middle, and ba-ba! So yeah, so I sold my Halcyon Twitter handle, which I valued at, I would have probably sold it for 500 bucks. And uh, I sold it for a lot more than that. As opposed to like a domain name. Like I've had people offer to buy prehensile.com. There are companies like a prehensile software and they wanted to buy it. And I think I actually, I think my offer was, I thought reasonable, but they didn't want to pay it. But prehensile.com, it means something to me and I still have stuff there. Whereas my Halcyon Twitter account, that doesn't mean anything to me. And nobody talks to me through Twitter. And I can get another account. You can find me at Halcyon Pink now. So that was nice to just have like a chunk of money, because I'm not sure if you've been following lately, but I have not been doing a lot of coaching or bringing in much money. I have other ways that I have income, but as I am looking to the future and thinking about moving from a condo to a house and trying to figure out how the fuck do you do that in Southern California, it's nice to have a little extra money in the account. I also like last night, I met my friend downtown. I parked in Horton Plaza because I thought you could get 2 hours free at Horton Plaza, and then I had to pay my parking. Guess how much my parking was? I was there 3.5 hours, so I knew I'd have to pay more than the two. But I got no free parking. 3.5 hours at Horton Plaza, $38. I was like, holy! And I just bought dinner for the two of us at a nice place. It's all right. But that's again, I'm like, you know what? I just had a influx of cash. I'm not going to give it another thought. Ta-ta. Um, win-win, exactly. But and they were stoked. They were super happy, and yeah. Daniel, good morning. Daniel says, I'm grateful for a final day of the season skiing with some friends today. Right on. Where are you skiing in your final day? I know last year I went skiing in Mammoth in May, and they were open far later than that, I believe. Nika says, I feel like I've never had a Twitter. I think Tumblr was my favorite back in the day. I never got into Tumblr. I had one, but I never got super into it. Now, LiveJournal, that was my jam. That's how Natasha and I met. LiveJournal. Whoop, whoop. Kiri says that as a friend who owns the handle LG, and LG has offered him a bunch, but he passed. Interesting. Yeah, on X or Twitter, I could see like holding on to a domain name, but I guess this depends on how you use things. Like if I felt like I had a network of people on, well, you know what was interesting? Like they said, like I'm talking to the guy, and we're on live doing the transfer, and he goes, "So why don't you just change your domain name, and then I will sign up for Halcyon as soon as you let it go?" And I'm like, I don't. Like, I'm not sure if that's gonna work, Like, I don't think it goes instantly into available. And because like, well, because that would be the only way that I'd be able to keep the followers. But no one pays attention to anything. I don't think my followers ever care, so or see anything I do. So I was like, it's not like I'm losing anything. Anyway, wow, you got friends. You got OG Twitter friends, Kiri. It must be the hanging out in Austin, the South by Southwest crew. Kirkwood. Oh, cool. That's where Daniel's going skiing. Um, we do need to talk, Juan, about the Teardrop trailer. That especially as I'm saying, I've made no plans to go to the burn, and yet you're right. We have discussed a tentative plan to meet for to take a Teardrop trailer. Um, oh, they were part of Twitter when it was just a startup. Well, I was. Was I? Would I know the Twitter people early on? I did. Um, and Blogger too. Um, yeah, Pinkasm would still be a good domain. That'd be a good name if I launched a hair brand dye. Gracie says, I miss when MySpace was fun. I can't even log into my account now. It's funny. I was a consultant for MySpace for a while after their heyday. Yeah, MySpace, I think MySpace was rad. And it's funny that, now that we have these homogenized Facebook things, it was I think the fun days of MySpace were they were cool. And but so my besties Dimitri, he after the heyday of MySpace, they hired him and he was the CTO, Chief Technology Officer at MySpace. And I came in as a consultant like 3 days a week. And we built basically we built Wix or we built Squarespace as like a web page builder. And we're trying to convince MySpace to be, should be the pivot, like be the place where people come to build their homepages. It's going to be huge. And we couldn't convince the company. And now it's a huge industry. Yet another time that Dimitri has been a visionary. When I mention all the ways that he has been ahead of the curve, that's one I often don't remember. I'm gonna bring that up to him. Write myself a note. You don't mind, do you? Anyone else have anything that they're feeling grateful for that they would share with us? Thank you, Nika. Grateful for the little bits I manifest in my life. I'm doing amazing. I was, as I was talking with my friend that I see every, 5 years, and one of my close friends, and talking about our lives, and he's in his realm, he is a big deal. And like my parents called me when they saw the announcement of his becoming president. He's a young president of the university, and and I had to really, like, as I'm sharing things, I was like, I really am focusing on direction, not distance. um I I'm there's 13 of us here between Facebook and YouTube, and that's awesome. I'm stoked that anybody wants to hang out with me this morning and every morning. So I'm super stoked. Um, and yeah. And then there's times when I feel like I have to explain, like, why, after doing this for so many years. In fact, my friend said, he goes, well, if what you're doing is in integrity and it resonates with people, you will find a large audience. And I'm like, oh, I guess what I'm doing isn't in integrity. I'm like, well, I'm not sure if I believe that. And then we had a conversation because was a professor of philosophy and religion. It's like, well, who's to say, what doing your role in the cosmic plan, doing as a servant of God, are you a better servant of God because you have more followers? Like, I don't think that is true. I think that there's actually, I mean, you could say there's a conflict, to become too dedicated to play the game required for growth. That there's a challenge. I mean, you don't want to stay so small that no one can hear your message, and you also don't want to get so focused on growth that you come disconnected. And I certainly see people who are quite popular who I feel are promoters and marketers, and Nothing wrong with that. I think it's hard for me because there's a part of me that wishes I could do more of that. I would like to have, I mean, honestly, I would like to have uh more people that were desiring to see and read and watch the things I create. That's the truth. But at the same time, I am stoked that anybody, and that sounded wrong. When I mean anybody, I don't mean that. I mean, like, I'm stoked that you are listening and that we're here sharing gratitude and lifting each other up. That's fucking awesome. I think both can be true. Natasha says, grateful I got to know Dimitri. Yeah, he is so busy now. He's got like 130 children or something. Oh, interesting. Curious sharing that that the top 8 friends was a toxic thing when she was a middle schooler. Yeah, that's a good point. That picking your favorites. Sarah says, I am grateful for the Baldy Bash, end of season ski season weekend party with awesome costumes, beautiful spring skiing with local friends. Grateful for the mountain is open one more week in Sun Valley, Idaho. Fun. Thank you, Nika. Good morning, Steve. Good morning. Annalise says, Satan is a servant of God in Jewish tradition. That's an interesting comment. Guess it really depends on how you see Satan and the role of Satan. I don't really believe in Satan. But I mean, you could certainly argue that an omnipotent God, all things are servants of God, including evil. But I'm not a philosopher. Gerbot says, always grateful for this morning broadcast. Your count should not be a metric of value. Thank you. We have in this present state people like Gerbot and Mingle and Natasha and Annalise and Daniel and Sarah. So would you rather be at a party with us or a huge party where with those people? I'm just kidding. I don't mean to make a comparison with judgment. I'm just saying we're cool. So it doesn't matter how big our party is. We're partying together. Thank you, Daniel. I like that. Daniel says, I will take that as a challenge to bring someone soon. Thanks. Yeah, sharing a link would be super helpful, or a like and leaving a comment with you. Even if you don't care about what I say, if you see me post and just say, good share, or like, or ha ha ha, good one, ha ha ha. Like, it still helps the algorithm pop it up. Good morning, Mingo. I love you too. Mingo says, grateful to be with me and my hair. Loving my hair this morning. Thank you. It is dramatic today. Sarah sharing, I'm extremely grateful. I survived pulmonary embolism last month. Thankful for the doctors and medicine enabling me to still be on my skis. So grateful for you doing this gratitude practice. I love it. Thank you. That feels good to hear. Oops. And how rad to have pulmonary embolism, your front of mind focus a month ago, and now your focus being on what's the snow like today for skiing. Rad. Kiri says, I'm grateful for all the money I've invested in my own development. Rad. I saw someone say, what was it they said? They were like, people go, oh my God, I can't believe you spent, $20,000 on a relationship coach. But you wouldn't bat an eye if someone said they spent $20,000 on their wedding. Which I thought, I was like, oh, that's an interesting way of looking at values. Yeah, I like that. Natasha, I am so grateful for all the body butters I got from the body shop to help my rough eczema, my rough gardener hands. Oh, I wish you much soothing through your butters. I'm feeling so grateful that my skin is doing well. I'm a little bummed that it seems to be the magic formula for keeping my skin looking good is cutting out coffee and stimulants. Ah. But I've been off for like 2 weeks now, and I didn't even sleep that well last night. Maybe I'm in like some weird cycle. I barely slept. I couldn't go. I went to bed. I didn't fall asleep until like 3:30, 4 in the morning. Nika says grateful for this community. Yeah, me too. Good morning, Jax. Jack says one of the 8 here could have their life changed by being here. Just keep on trucking with the love. Things will grow. And that's really how I try to look at things. Like, when we had the 4-year anniversary of our gratitude gatherings, which you're all welcome. And that's something that, it doesn't grow. It doesn't grow. I think it's a beautiful, incredible thing, and it just doesn't grow. So, is that a sign that it's not good enough? I don't think so. I think that it's really important for a lot of people, and a lot of people in the 4-year anniversary shared how important it has been for them. So, you can't. There's not a. It's not inherently. It's not a lack of victory to not grow. I think it's one of the infections of our culture. In fact, I'm re-listening to *Sapiens*, which is an incredible book. And for most of history, economies stayed the same size. So that if the king made more money, that means the peasants had less money. But we now have economies that just grow through the use of credit. But so we have this belief that growth is healthy. Growth is healthy. Growth is healthy. Like if you make a business and you just sustain and you can pay your workers and you can pay your bills and everyone's happy, that's considered a failure in our country. You have to be growing more new products, bigger market share, bigger growth. And it's hard to fight against that cultural story. And the other part is, do I use that anti-story, that growth doesn't mean success, as an excuse to not be courageous? Like, have you even seen me offer workshops since January? No. Why? Is it because I'm afraid? Because I could clearly be doing things to try to grow. So there's a balance somewhere in the middle, I think. Good morning, Zoe. Good to see you, and good to see I saw a brief reflection on your eclipse experience. Looks like it was an adventure. Mingle says, grateful to have been chosen to be a part of the Max Drag Makeover Challenge. I find out which queen I'm paired up with tomorrow night. Woohoo! Bring on the big eyelashes. Oh, that sounds like a super rad adventure. Oh, gosh, it's half past. Mingle says, grateful for the dream I had the other night where you and I sat across the table from one another and we shared gratitude. So even in my dreams, we're giving gratitude. I'm like, what a very realistic dream that was. And Kiri forgot to share that someone told me this morning that I am such a glass half full person. And I told her that it's not that. I'm just recognize that the whole glass is beautiful regardless. Woo, 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 woo. She clutched her chest and said that perspective made her whole day. Oh, I love that. Gearbot says, for me, this practice helps me grow. Just need to adjust your perspective on how you define growth. Oh, man. Double mic drops there with Kiri and Gearbot. And everyone, thank you for your sharing. And your perspectives. I hope I don't come across sounding negative. I'm just sharing the thoughts, trying to be authentic with the thoughts and the process. And I'm not discouraged. I like to get back. I have thoughts of discouragement, but overall, I just feel so blessed and so lucky that I get to do this. There is a beautiful. Well, I have a hoodie that says it's a beautiful class across the back, and it has a grandpa on the. I might have other. Oh, you know what? Good suggestion, Natasha. We need T-shirt with a beautiful glass. Well, I guess maybe it's a picture. You mean like a picture of a beautiful glass? What does a beautiful glass look like? Is it a big wine glass? Oh, what a beautiful glass this is to share. Let's all toast one another. Cheers with our beautiful glasses. And wherever you are, let's give ourselves a big squeeze. Feeling grateful for this journey, this interconnection. Grateful for the opportunity to question and wonder and ponder and be discouraged and be encouraged and be content and be longing. So grateful for this human ride and how much more fun it is, and when we can recognize it's a ride and when we can take the ride together. So let's take a deep breath in and squeeze. On behalf of Grandpa Caleb and all of us, thanks for being here this morning for our Hug Nation gathering. I love you. Sarah says, what are other things you do? If you go to lifestudent.com, I think that's the easiest way to find the links to the Zoom gatherings. And then the other thing I do in person, I do First Saturdays, which is a homeless outreach. Those are things that I'm doing consistently. And then if you join my mailing list, you'll find out the next time I'm doing like a workshop or a class or something like that. And maybe that'll be my today. I'll figure out, put on the calendar when I'm going to do the gratitude workshop. I'm going to do, yeah. Thank you all for being here and adding your beautiful, beautiful perspectives and hearts. Have a beautiful day.